And so when I think of events and I think of like, why do you go to an event, right? Like, what are you trying to give to people at SubSummit? I want to go to events that
Yeah.
actually make a
Yeah.
difference for myself as an operator.
Yeah. So one, as an operator, you're going to get actionable takeaways, right? So, given the different tracks, you would be looking at who's speaking around what, right? And so if it is email marketing, the idea for our speakers that are on stage is to give actionable takeaways. We don't, keynotes are in general, keynotes are a little bit more high level and how did you get to where you were at? And there's not as much takeaways, but that's why there's only a couple keynotes. We have workshops, right? We want our attendees to go there to learn something that's going to help them grow their business. On top of that, you want to network with other individuals that are in your space. Maybe there's partnership opportunities. And then the
Yeah.
third reason is to go because you might be able to identify a solution provider that can help you grow and build your business. There are so
Yeah.
many more Shopify plugins that are coming out. There are more consumer management service platforms. And it's your opportunity to meet those folks and see, like, can they help with their bottom line? How can they help with retention? How can they help with customer service? There's a lot of tools out there that a lot of operators are unaware of. Well, you go to SubSummit to identify those. You
Mm,
also go to SubSummit to identify what's the status of the industry. What's the outlook of subscriptions going into 2024? Truth is, like, 2024 is a year of retention. How are you enhancing the experience for the customers so that they're getting an experience that you can't get on the retail level? Truth is, as D2C brands, it doesn't matter what you're selling, unless it's, we'll say, dynamic and or exclusive. Amazon will sell it to you faster and will ship it to you faster and sell it to you cheaper, right?
mm,
So
mhm.
then how are you going to build an experience that a consumer can't get on a retail level? If you look at like Chewy, right? Chewy sells pet food and they sell dog treats and dog food and dog toys. So does Amazon. So does Petco. Well, how do they separate themselves from those brands? They built an experience you can't get on a retail level. You
Yeah.
land on that
Yeah.
site. One of the first questions is, what's your pet's name? They put your food on auto ship. That makes absolute sense. Like, why do I want to carry a 60-pound bag and drive to the store and pick it up and drop it off? No, like, Chewy puts it on your doorstep. You hear the stories all the time when, like, somebody wants to return something. Chewy tells you to donate it to a local shelter. They
Yeah.
send you flowers when they find out your pet passed away. This is
That's
things that
right.
other brands don't do.
And I'll tell you,
So everything
Amazon brands aren't going to do that, right? Like
No.
it's just not part of the. Well, first of all,
Nope.
they don't even have the information to be able to do that, right? That's the problem with that. Funny, I
Yep.
actually I had a post last week, I think, at some point on LinkedIn talking about this difference, right? Like if you're going, and it was actually about sending traffic to PDPs. Like I don't know what this obsession with sending traffic to PDPs is with marketers. I'm like, that is the one differentiator that you have as a brand. You have a brand. Send them to an immersive experience as a brand. If not,
Sure.
just send them to the Amazon PDP. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
If all you're doing is just selling shit, just go do
Yep.
that. Right?
Yep.
That is the big difference. And all of these things that you said. I'd love to actually dive in just quickly into the company that you exited.
Sure.
What made that so successful? Like,
Yeah.
what do you attribute that to?
For sure. And real quick, I wanted to touch on one point on Chewy. 70% of Chewy's revenue comes from their subscription, where they just mentioned that. Their CEO mentioned that earlier this year.
Surprising. I want to point that out there. I actually didn't know that about them. I was looking from the outside, just like armchair CEOing their business. Think about that, guys. I'm kind of like, hey, Chris, can we just end this now? I'm just going to figure out some subscription ideas for some of our brands because this
It
is
should be.
kind of dumb that I got.
Every brand should have it. I pro I don't know if you follow Gary Vee. I'm sure you know him, and I'm sure the listeners know Gary Vee. I did a podcast with him, and I got the best soundbite in the world. I asked him what brands he thought should have subscription platforms, and his response was every single one of them. And it's the truth.
Oh man, I would love that. Did you have Gary at one
I
of your
have the soundbite.
conferences?
Yeah. What's
Oh,
that?
okay,
Yeah,
nice.
we played it. Yeah, that because that was like 3 years ago, so we played it at one of the future conferences.
Yeah,
But, with Gentleman's Box, so here's the thing about subscriptions. In order for there to be a successful subscription, you gotta offer one of 3 things, which is either value, convenience, or access, right?
gotcha.
So if you
Okay.
offer one of those three things, you got a recipe for success. If you look at something like Amazon Prime's membership, it offers all 3. Access to
Yeah.
content through their Amazon Prime Video, everyday low prices, and 2-day shipping, right? So they're bringing all 3 of them. But let's just go to a normal brand like Gentleman's Box. We were offering you value and convenience. We were saying, for $29 a month or $100 a quarter, we're going to give you $150 worth of men's accessories. And we're going to deliver it to your door. So you don't have to think about this. You don't have to
Yeah.
buy dress socks anymore. You never got to go look for a new tie. You want to, get a taste of some new colognes. We're going to provide that for you. we're going to provide it to you monthly or quarterly, but we're also going to give you value. So you're spending less and you're getting more product. And that's what was
Gotcha.
the big play there, right? And the thing about something like Gentleman's Box is it's a want to have, not a need to have. That makes it a little bit harder, right? You look at Chewy, they need to feed your pets,
Yeah,
right?
that
Like
that is
they
a
need
little bit of a
food every
different
month,
category,
right?
right? I
No,
absolutely agree. Yeah.
very different. My category much harder, right? And
Yeah.
so the biggest is if you have a brand can provide one of those three things, access, value, or convenience, you've got a business for success. Look at like EA Sports. You
Yeah.
used to buy the games for $60 a game. Now you can pay for a pass that gets you all the games. You pay monthly, right? Like
Yeah.
it makes sense. They're providing you access to all of these games while building a relationship with the customer and being able to present other offers and use that to keep that relationship going. It's why Lululemon purchased Mirror, right?
Yeah.
Lululemon just a retail store, but they got Mirror now. They got people on a subscription for working out, which makes sense because they sell workout clothes, right? So it's like
Yeah.
the perfect synergies aligned there. So the
I like
truth
that you're
is
also bringing up 2 Vancouver companies. Thank you.
amazing. So that was what really separated Gentleman's Box. We provided you value, we provided you convenience, right? We didn't give you access to anything, but we had two of the three, and it was a reason for our success.
Chris, I'd love for you to rip me apart right now. I have never, and I think probably the issue has been with the subscription is just my lack of focus when it comes to all of the different things that I do and not really running massive visionary in our ecom companies. Yeah, kind of wanting to and throwing some
Mhm.
ideas out there every once in a while. Let's talk about one of the companies that I have, and it's a baby clothing company. We've done incredibly well over the years, pretty well known in Canada, trying to enter the States as well. We've never done subscriptions. I
Mhm.
actually bought a subscription company, a bow subscription company, because I thought, awesome, I'm going to take all of their, tactics and all the things that they had done, plus the bows, and then start selling.